until the lions have their own historians. The tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. And you know, I'll say that again. Folks have said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Hello and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. My name is Nana Ansakwao, the fourth chief of the very little Republic of Akwamu, Edumasan. Welcome to our usual Monday ritual where we all become Ghanaians. We let go of all our differences and share ideas together. We agree, we disagree to make Ghana a true happy home. 7 p.m. on Mondays, don't miss out. Set it on your alarms and your reminders. So 7 p.m. on Monday, you join us. The rules are the same, folks. I bring a topic, I speak to it, and after, you can agree with me, you can disagree with me, but we do it all agreeable. But each, or whichever way you choose, just don't forget that it is my opinion. Save the numbers. I know they keep saying I'm saying the numbers too fast, so please save the numbers. It's 0302 216 541. Save them, yeah? 0302 216 541. And then if you want to send a text message, WhatsApp message, it's 0244 340 437. 0244 340 437. Our topic today, the promise for jobs. The promise for jobs. Oh yes. Now, as you know, and if you have followed me for a little while, you know that I love history and I worship culture. I love tradition and I adore custom. Oh yes, even though I have earned the title as Nana with swag, believe me, I take my traditional role very, very serious, and I do it with swag. And I still do it with swag, but I take it serious. So let us go back into history a little bit. After all, it's a storytelling time, right? Folks, once upon a time in the days of the old, before formal education, we all had jobs. I mean, if you were an adult, as soon as you could sort of lift or do something, we all had jobs. And let me add that we were all very educated too. In those days, the phrase unemployment would have been very laughable. So wouldn't you say? In those days, we all worked with our hands. It was an honor to work with one's hands. Fishing, farming, carving, blacksmiths, weavers, herbalists. There were few who did not use their hands to work, and there were probably the spiritualists and spiritual heads who helped with protection. They were in every village or town, and you find a deity or two whose job was to give guidance in preventing a bad omen or directions to get you out of one. Fast forward to the era of formal education, when we started reading and writing. The pioneers of literacy thought of themselves as elite. Chiefs who were heads of communities too thought of them as such and gave them extra privileges. The white colonial masters too related to them as they could translate for them. You know, they automatically had a good status in society. They were the new yardstick of our society. Those working with their hands were not cratchifor. People who donned the traditional cloth were not cratchifor. The new niche was the ability to read, write, speak English, and a bit of Latin to top it up. As for that one, and you're home and dry. And the acceptable appearance gradually became a shirt and tie, suit and tie. Appear more Western was, the order of the day. Anything outside of this, and you were considered a second-class citizen. The denigration of the African had begun. The self-destruct button had been pushed. But we were not alarmed. We were rather happy that we had found a new path to grooming ladies and gentlemen. All our fathers who were successful farmers and artisans educated their wards out of the farms and out of the carving sheds. no matter how successful they were. They didn't want their children to follow their path. Gradually, we added the culture of this Krachisem to our culture. And by Krachisem, I mean Abrofusem. So much so that almost it became a taboo for a growing man to choose, to attempt, or even think of choosing a job that mainly required you to use your hands or exert any force or pressure. Artisanship was for the weak, the poor, the dropped out, the failed, and the hopeless in society. They became artisans. So carpentry, plumbing, welding, masonry, electrician, farmer, fisherman, painter, garden, tailoring, mechanic, baker, and later on, teaching, folks, was added to the list. Yes, the noble profession of teaching was now added to the list. And yes, that's how terrible we have gotten. Teaching is now for the second-class citizen. Until date, folks, till date, as I speak to you, these jobs are a taboo in many homes. However, even though we craved for this newfound culture of so-called modernity and civility, we did not expand the facilities that breed the quality ladies and gentlemen that we wanted for our wards. We didn't create the facilities to create the Krachifo that we were looking for. The quality ones were still reserved for the elite, and the many not so quality ones were provided. Now the irony, which is even more prevalent today, is that those who provide these type of low-class schools will never send their awards there. Sometimes not even the teachers. That's how bad. The teacher or the headmaster who wants doesn't want the award to be in the same school. School no one can say headmaster. Is that not dangerous? Is that not serious? That the teacher or headmaster in a particular school does not want the award to come there. Now maybe you can prove me wrong, but us black people, folks, we do very well in physical things. Better than refer to page 63 and then come back to page 10. We do so good. We love to listen, we love to see, touch. So the adage goes that if you want to hide something from a black man, just write it in a book. And here we were, venturing into a world where everything was in a book. Yet, we refused to cultivate the habit of reading, and at the same time, demonize what we were good at, what we were gifted to do. We were demonizing it, and yet not building the habit of reading. And yet we're wandering into a world where everything was in a book. It was based on reference here and that reference. Folks, as for working with our hands, touching and improvising, you can't beat us. You go to Kumasi magazine and see how people use their hands to make things happen. When Caterpillar came to Ghana, they were amazed at how much the Ghanaian mechanic could improvise. In the absence of any part, they would do something the machine should move. We should have just mastered the art of finishing. We should have just added finishing to our handiwork or our gift. Folks, the number of people that are left behind because they could not read or speak as the Queen of England, the hundreds of thousands of able young men and women left behind every year with little hope of entering mainstream education again. It's so sad. The irony is that the numbers of youth too left unemployed because all they can do is speak like the Queen with no skills. That's mind-boggling. And yet, because of the stigma of even thinking of work, which is not in front of a desk, the unemployed numbers keeps mounting and mounting. Because to the young man, if you're going to give him a job, you have to give him a desk. Folks, we have also sunk this idea deep into the brains of our young ones that should you approach any unemployed young man today and say, help me with my painting job or landscaping job until you find your white-collar desk job. Now, he may be insulting you in your head. He will feel disrespected. Because in our household, we see how artisans are treated. They sit outside at the back and eat. They eat from the plastic plate that we don't even use. We don't treat them as equals. In church, we pray against such marriages. People with such professions, you pray against them. Teacher, warrior, mason, warrior, plumber, warrior, we condemn them. We demonize them. So why would I want to join this league of second-class citizens? Or any parent for that matter? Why would they want their child to be treated in this way? Just because they could work with their hands. Folks, the schools to produce these so-called first-class citizens are very, very limited. And even the few that we create, we have no room for them. The quality schools are not enough. The few that are coming out of these quality schools, we can't even employ them. Marketing, HR, PR, sociology, psychology, more marketing, and more HR. Folks, you ask yourself, what do we produce in this country that you are going to market? How many things are being produced that you are going to market? But folks, go to any major site today and ask yourself, what nationals are working here? One time I went to the Asogli power plant. My good friend Nana Ofei Asimeni, who's in Koswahini of Akwamu, very integral part of the Asogli plant. And I was talking about this job issue, and he said, Ohini, when we were building Asogli, most of the workers were from Benin and Togo. They were hard-working and ready to work. He says by 3 p.m., the Ghanaians are ready to go home. If a butterfly dies on his grandfather's cousin's farm, he won't come to work for 3 days. Now, we have taught our children to lie, to steal, to be dishonest, above all, unnecessarily timid. He's not able to tell you, no, I'm not doing that because line at you, master, so can say. And I tell you, folks, employers are struggling with petty theft and serious negative work attitude. So, folks, I strongly believe that there are plenty of jobs. However, they are not the jobs that we are looking for, not the jobs that we want. But as for jobs, there are jobs here. So, may I suggest a national rethinking of artisanal training, apprenticeship training, and maybe some sort of standardization in the industry so that the work become a bit more meaningful. For a developing nation like Ghana, to be churning out so many PR, HR, and marketing, it should be a matter for concern. For a developing nation, churning out so many HR and PR and marketers should be a matter for concern. Now we have to fall in love with working with our hands again. Anis Hafa would always say in crusading that, listen, the sitting behind the desk is just too much. From nursery to the time you finish your PhD, you're sat behind the desk. Meanwhile, in real life, you may have to get out of the desk and go and face the world. Now, folks, with all this promise for jobs, this is the season of promises. And so they are promising jobs. 250 jobs. Some say 2 million jobs. They are promising 2 million jobs. What kind of jobs? We never ask. We just cheer on. Hey! But we never ask, what jobs? What skills are needed for these jobs? What skill do I need to have to be able to do whatever job it is that you're bringing? Indeed, where would the job be located? Are we all going to come down to Accra, the Kumazis and the Cape Coast again, or these jobs are going to go to the rural area to decentralize. Where are the jobs going to be? Where are the jobs going to be? And with the majority of our students doing general arts, with general arts, can I fit into these jobs that you are going to create? Folks, I'm saying all these things because once upon a time, GDA concept. Producers of the Standpoint, looking for a graphic designer. So, lots of people applied. I think they shortlisted to about 23, booked an interview. So split it into two, so that half will come in the morning and then the other half come, late morning. Folks, single one, turned up early. Young men like my son here, Abeku, 23. They were all late for an interview. And out of all the people that we interviewed, not one had even bothered to Google to find out what at all this company does. Meanwhile, they said they were there to help. Help me do what? You don't even know what I do. In this 2020, young man, you're in a truck or Uber or whatever it is, you have a phone. You could not Google the name of the place you're applying for a job to see what it is that they do. One was early, the rest were late. Folks, right now in the Republic of Edumasa, right, there's a major construction going on which is going to last 3 to 4 months. They're building a primary school. Contractor is on site. Is willing to pay 60 cedis a day for bricklayers. The local bricklayers want 80 cedis a day. And so guess what? They won't work. And so I'm telling them, listen, why don't you take the 60 cedis a day until such time an 80 cedi one come, and then you quit and go, because this is not a contract here, it's by day as you call it. So you have guaranteed 60 cedis a day for 4 months. I mean, that's 2 Okadas right there by the time you finish. No, you pay 80. Yes, I am management. So these are the serious matters on the ground. Again, a Wutu Senior, George Anders constituency, right? We go set up a massive block factory by courtesy of Imperial Homes. This big machine that can spit out, like 1,500 blocks in an hour. All these super duper things. So obviously, get us locals so that they can come and join in so they will work. Day one, MP brings us 15 boys. Well done. Put them all in fluorescent jackets and hard hats, trying to get all things proper, work them through the machine. How many they have to stack on a pile and everything. The next day, 3 turn up. 15 to 3. So you call. Aren't you going to come and work? Oh, my mobile phone charge, I know what I say. Into my return, that will be the Viaba Obantama Meba. So to which my mobile phone charger is broken. If I'm waiting for somebody to bring me one, if he comes early, I will turn up at work. You call the other one, he has Abawa, is the work every day? Hello? You call the other one, he says, oh no. You guys say you're going to pay out monthly. As for monthly work, I can. This, folks, my brother, is the reality on the ground. And before I go to the phones, 2 young girls, again in the Republic. Assemblyman pushes and pushes, as they do, to get them to be attached to a school canteen, the Ajana school canteen. Push them, and then he's all happy that, we're creating 2 jobs in there. And apparently there's a whole lot of bureaucracy to get them on the payroll. The 9th hour, they decide, why? Because their pay is 5 cedis short of 400. 5 Ghana cedis short of 400. Folks, these are the realities on the ground. If we don't start a culture of letting our children know that you must and have to work, turn up early and do work well and get yourself dignity, we are in big trouble. We are in massive trouble. We will sit here, and the Togolese and the Beninese, and I don't know how it is they get them to, have better work attitudes than we have, but they seem to. Chinese laborers are now coming into Ghana. Chinese laborers. People build hotels and have to get Malaysian supervisors, and that's how bad things are getting. Once upon a time, I said, I hate copying, but look, I said, let's look at the Japanese model, where from 0 to 10 years, you are taught to be a human being, taught to be a good citizen, honesty, empathy, timekeeping, uprightness. Let's imbibe our children with these things. But if we leave them just like chickens, then this is what's going to happen, where people will create jobs and now go outside of Ghana to go and find jobs. So when I hear all these 2 million, 2 million, 250, I'm thinking, people, do you know what's happening on the ground? Have those 2 million people told you they want work? What work? I think I'm wanting too much. I'm eating into your time. But the promise for jobs should be accompanied by the promise of attitude to jobs. The promise for jobs should be accompanied to the promise of attitude towards jobs. Appreciation for jobs. 60 cedis also on here. 80 cedis. So he's going home to sleep until such time there's an 80 cedi contract. In a local vicinity in the Republic, you don't take transport to work. You don't have, you don't have to go and buy PM Wache, which is 30 cedis. I'm not going to buy PM Wache, which is nice, but 30 cedis. No, you can live on your 5, maximum 8 cedis a day. Folks, it's 0302216541. And I have Quay on the line. Hello, Quay.
Hello, Nana.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
And I've missed you.
Oh, yes, I've missed you guys too.
Nana, the way you are so dynamic in terms of your themes, in fact, God really blessed you. Nana, we the Africans, and especially Ghana, we should understand that we are meant to show gratitude, not because we need money, but we are willing to work hard. Else, these leaders will continue to promise us white-collar jobs, but we will never get it. Nana, I once upon worked with a certain man for about a month, and every day I was expected to be paid a token so that I used to, buy some food to eat. In fact, this man never remembered me. On every time that I'm working for him, like every day that I'm working for him, he will never remember, but he will remember the girlfriends outside. Sometimes he would say, take the money and buy food for my girlfriend. But do you know what? No, I did not allow what he was doing to me, the money that he's not giving me, to be my problem. But I was praying that one day, the work will stand and he will pay me very well. So let us focus on our work and stop following money. And by God's grace, if our leaders realize that we are not into money, they will come with a very good policy that will start nice job. Thank you very much, now.
Thank you too so much. Joel is in Atlanta. Hello, Joel.
Yes.
Good evening, my brother.
Good evening, sir. I think that we just like you said, the way we have been educated is just so wrong. It's so wrong because, and I realize that a lot of the people, they come into employment with a certain mindset. And when you try to polish them, it will amaze you that even our institutions that are supposed to preach such to them also have the wrong mindset. And I have had several instances with even the Labor Commission on some of the things that they think is not right. But you realize that it's not the way it should work in industry. You punish people and they will come after you with the mind that you, the employer, is rather wrong. Sometimes I want to believe if the Labor Commission is actually for
only for the employees or also for when employers are abused by employees? Because there are several situations where you would have staff come to work and then they will tell you that my auntie asked me to go to town to buy something for him before I come to work. How is that possible? And so, personally, I think that there should be an informal way of retooling our people so that they can change the way they think and come to the work premises with a different mindset.
Thank you so much, Joel. Thank you. Let me go to Na. Hello, Na.
Hello.
Good evening. Good evening, Na.
You know, I don't know, but you are so right. As I speak with you, I employed somebody to teach in my school. Pay her. She doesn't even take a car to work. And it's like, maybe a business mentioning market here. And that is her attitude. And you talk about it, and what is it? So that kind of attitude. And if we don't change this attitude of ours, nothing will work for anybody. If everybody is interested in 2,000 jobs, there are no jobs anywhere. When you go, these Anago people, they will tell you there is money in the gutter. Everybody wants to wear tie, collar. And they sit in the office before they realize they are working. But work is there, and we need to use our hands. God bless you for this work.
God bless you too. Mohammed is on the line. Hello, Mohammed.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, Mohammed. Let me hear you.
God bless you, my brother. You really said it all. The Ghanaian attitude about work. I think we Ghanaians, we think that maybe the money or maybe to make money is in some prayer or some spirit. I don't know, maybe because of the mentality of the churches of all these malams on TV and all that. I don't understand the Ghanaian that just want to make money overnight. I don't know. Sometimes they think that maybe when you travel outside, you see a Ghanaian working here, getting 500 million to travel to US or any other country. Sometimes, thinking of this country, honestly, our future is really, really, really at stake, honestly. Looking at the way the country is going, because sometimes the politicians, those people can never help you. There is job around us everywhere. Look at this Nigerians and even foreigners when they come to, as you were saying, the site. When you are doing a project, apart from the Togolese, a Ghanaian cannot, you can't get with a Ghanaian for a whole month without any excuse. Either my mom said I should go and give something to my auntie or my uncle is dead. Every month, I have people who that and work with that. Maybe they are grandfathered by 3 times.
Thank you very much there. Let me read this one. It says, you just hit a raw nerve. My HND hardware networking friend is being disrespected and underpaid in his workplace just because he doesn't have a degree. Those who came in with a degree in Swahili, etc., are well paid and respected just because he's seen more as a technical person. The disrespect for the technical person in our country is such a huge problem, even in well-organized companies. So we all are going to get degrees in whatever subject. Lord have mercy. Odute ni Odute. Ajimai is on the line. Hello, Ajimai.
Hi, good evening, and I hope you're doing well.
I'm good, my brother.
Yeah, immediately you started your topic, then I was tempted to make news. And your topic sometimes, I'm tempted to ask questions more than answering. My question is it the employers who look for degree or the employees, look for degree before they go for the work because they want to be paid better? Recently, a friend of mine had a problem with a girlfriend because after the nursing training, she hasn't been posted. and she's sitting down for her to be posted before she found herself something doing. And I know of a certain man who is he's a transport officer in a certain company. And whenever there's a problem with a vehicle, he goes to the roadside to see that guy to repair it. But after that, he go and stay somewhere and write the report and send it for money. So now the issue is, how many supervisors to be employed and how many subordinates will be under them? So if everybody wants to get a degree, then a lot of people will sit at home complaining about not having job. When you go to some places like UK, it's not all about degree, but it's about what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
So why can't we give opportunity to those who have learned the work for years? And if it is a refresher course that you do for them, they do for them so that they can perform creditably. I mean, the topic, I mean, it looks as if you have joined 3 topics.
I know, I've put, I know, right? But Della is in Orifa. Hello, Della.
Yeah.
Yes. Nani?
Mama, good evening.
Good evening.
And thanks for taking my call. The issue with this casing, there's some aspect of it which maybe we are not looking at critically.
Mm-hmm.
I did engineering.
Okay.
I left school in 78. Was away for a while. I had a senior who was very good. His name is cool. I want to call his name.
Mm-hmm.
And he worked with VRA. So I went to VRA looking for my good friend. And I was told he was going to school at where? Legon. What is he studying? Administration. So I tracked him down. Now he told me he said the thing this way. He says, you know, we engineers work very hard, but we have our faith in the hands of the people in administration.
Mm-hmm.
They decide how much we should be paid. So it drew my mind to a joke that we used to have around when we were kids. They said the first class students want to be engineers and doctors. Then the second class want to be administrators, so that they manage the first class. The third class will want to become lawyers. Then they will become politicians. And they make laws to control the first and second class.
It's like a joke, but it sounds like, you know, maybe closer to the truth. Abna is on the line. Hello, Abna.
Yes, Nana. You know, our problems are many. Mm-hmm. And I just always hope that one day we would solve all of them and we'll be happy as a country.
Mm.
This work issue, unemployment issue, you know, when you look at foreign countries, I mean the Western world, they have jobs not because they are they only have white-collar jobs. People actually do all manner of jobs. What we don't respect in our country, that is what people actually do, and they are well paid. But the question is, even if we try to implement things here, are we good enough to have an eye for quality? We don't have it. A lot of employers are struggling with dealing with employees. We don't have it. We have two groups. Those who are willing to do this kind of artisan work, yes, they are there, but they don't have eye for quality. They just do things just anyhow. If you are building your store or even your house and you bring in masons and all these people to do your job, you should see how they go about it. And they just can't be bothered. They don't care. What they think is that you are earning monthly salary, and so at the end of the month you get your money. And for them, because it's not a set sum they will be receiving every month, they will just do the job anyhow and charge you, and on top of it, increase the prices of products they need to buy to do your work. This is wickedness. And at the end of the day, the quality they will even give you, you'll be so sad. And they rush through all the areas when it comes to artisan work. So for me, I think that we always turn it to the government, that the government needs to start changing mindset. We have a lot of people into free SHS and all that. What are they coming out to do? If we don't start building their mindset to appreciate quality and appreciate this kind of jobs, as in artisan jobs, or is it, I think it's not skilled labor and all this kind of jobs available now. You can go anywhere, and the people will always be choked. Meanwhile, there will be jobs. And those who are not willing to do artisan jobs, I think those who say, no, I don't want this kind of job, who want to sit behind desks, it's time we start encouraging our graduates to do some of these, take up some of these jobs. And eventually they'll be well paid and everybody will be happy. So I think this is how it has to go about. The mindset needs to be changed, and it will start from the government cutting the path for everybody to follow.
Adna, I agree with you. The mindset from, school, there should be start from school, start at an early age, so by the time you grow, you have cultivated that habit. Samson is on the line. Samson.
Hello, Nana.
Let me hear you, Samson.
And I appreciate your Royal Highness. So me keep a good and
good.
And I have a solution to unemployment. But my problem is hello.
Yes, let me hear you.
Okay, I said I have a solution to unemployment, but the problem is like this: the company which employs you stole you, not just stealing you, but to make you a madman in addition. I'm saying this Greco and myself and Greco.
I know the issue with you and Greco, but it can't be said on air. So we'll talk about Greco later. Now, what you're saying is very true, but Ghanaian employers should also learn to pay people well. Look, a foreign company establishes a business, wants to pay people well, and Ghanaian directors will say, no, in Ghana we don't pay drivers 2,000 Ghana cedis. They bring expatriates for the same work and pay them multiple times than a Ghanaian. They rent for them, and the Ghanaian will have to rent his own place, and for that matter, stay far and struggle to come to work because he can only afford a decent place with his family in Wunibam. While the expats are in a nice apartment in Accra. I once worked for a company who rented $1,000 apartment for expats for the same role, paid them very well in dollars, but my salary was less than $1,000. My Ghanaian boss, who was employed, was the one who said Ghanaians are not supposed to get rent allowance. This is Nick. Says, I'm currently in the UK doing the same work, and I'm pleased because we all get equal salary according to our inputs. Nanaya is on the line. Hello, Nanaya.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Nanaya.
Yes, I'm following the program, but the letter that I want to contribute to is, let me talk about those in the either carpentry or woodwork, because that is where I belong to.
Good.
And, I'm in my 50s, and I've worked in corporate for a while, whether first degree, second degree, whatever, all of that I have. But for the love of woodwork, I decided to put corporate aside and enter into woodwork. I wanted to do good job, me job, and a better job. But I realized I don't have the statistics, but I can comfortably say about 80% of my customers don't value the work of the woodworker. I think they believe that maybe when you put a nail and a hammer on the wood, it comes out with something. So they come over, I want this. They pick it from the internet. I want it, very beautiful. You give them the price after doing all your calculation and everything. You can imagine. So that is why we have a lot of all these plywood kind of products, laminated and sprayed and coated very beautiful along the roadside.
being sold for 300, 200, 800. You use it within 6 months, everything is down. And that's also the reason why I think many of the youth are not interested in going into this. So it's high time, and I've lived in England before. People value the work of masons, carpenters, etc. And they pay much better for that. It's high time Ghanaians also value the job of these people.
I agree with you. That's why I was talking about standardization. I so much agree with you. If there should be some standards, in the system, so that we know that fitting a door is 2.5 hours, and every carpenter should earn maybe 10 cedis an hour or 20, 30 cedis an hour, whatever the rate is. So when I call a carpenter to fit my door, I know it's 90 cedis because it's 2.5 hours. Whether he does it in 15 minutes or 3 days, the standard rate is that within 2.5 hours you fit a door. Again, if I buy the door in Tamale and I take it to Takrady, it should fit. So once we have all those standards and that pricing, I think it will become attractive. Where no, it's priced. You know that if you're fixing a gearbox, it's 3 hours, and so I don't care whether you do it in 6 hours or 1 minute. I have to pay you 3 hours and maybe 80 cedis an hour or this. So once the standardization comes in, it becomes a bit easier. But this one says, Nana, it's sad. There was a young teacher in my son's crèche who was laid off because of COVID-19. She was being paid under 400 per month. I found her a job. Her job description was to live in, look after a child who can pretty much do things by herself, cook for herself, and do laundry once a week in a very good home, an apartment, in a flat. Just a girl and her mom. She was offered 1,200 a month. She called me to say she can't do it because the work was too hard. Says I was very disappointed. Eugenia Sintim Eddie. This one also says, Nana, can you imagine a friend got a job for a guy who had just completed service, which was paying 3,000 Ghana cedis a month. He was not incurring any cost because it was the work from home kind of work. He quit because he said the pay was too low and he wants to earn big like my friend who linked him. Meanwhile, we all started from somewhere. As you said, at least take that 3,000, however small it is, and wait for that big money to come in. So we are talking about our work attitude. And I'm saying that it is dangerously raw and dangerous. Honestly, we need to really psych ourselves now into what work is. Really psych ourselves, because where the world is going now, I mean, there's the Peninsula Hotel which is coming up, somewhere in Esujamai. I mean, it's the biggest 5-star hotel, massive. I was talking to Dr. Sarkodie. He says that I'm going to only take 6 receptionists. They are going to do all the booking 24 hours 6, run a shift in 6, HR 2. All I need is people to do the golf course, maintain the air conditioners, the swimming pools. Those are the people I need. But where are they? Where are they? We have a HR, the biggest 5-star hotel. So if we don't start psyching people, and of course, once we are psyching people to get into these jobs, we need to, like my friend the woodworker said, also appreciate that this is a skill and they must be paid, and paid well for it. Lawyer Selma Awumbila, you senior legal counsel for Ghana Great Company Limited. Tomorrow is your birthday, and your bestie Dennis has twisted my arms to wish you a happy birthday in advance. So Lawyer Selma Awumbila, tomorrow have a wonderful day, and this is from your bestie Dennis. So while they are promising us for jobs, folks, we must ask which jobs. And when they find out the jobs, matter where the jobs will be, are we willing to relocate to where the jobs will be? And when we get there, do we have the skills for that job? Can I just speak Twi and do the job? Is it just English I need to do the job? Should I know how to bend something, weld something, stitch something? What do I need to do this particular job that they are talking about? So as the season approaches and they are jumping up and down a job, a promising job, promise what job? Promise what job? Because the people, and many of them, have gotten the wrong side of the stick with regards to attitude towards work. Here we are, 80 cedis a day, and one mommy 80, I mean coffee. Meanwhile, there's a 4-month contract at 60 cedis. So no, then I'm going home to sleep. Why don't you take it up until the 80 cedi come? That is the mentality crossbow. Folks, my name is Nana Sakwa. And I say until the lions have their own historians, of hunting will always glorify the hunter. Next Monday we'll be back with another opinion.